Okay, so super excited tonight. It is September 7th for our Faithfully Fit team Zoom call. I am really fired up that Juliet is actually going to be hosting the call tonight. So for those of you who are new or those of you that are watching the recording, Juliet is a one-star diamond coach. She's been coaching for about a year. She has been so consistent managing 3 dogs and 3 children at home. And what I thought was really cool about her topic tonight is that every summer, she and her family literally leave Darien, Connecticut, and they go out to Long Island. And she was having a lot of anxiety about going out to Long Island this summer because their house had flooded and she was going to be living in a camper, which was such a cool idea, with her kids while the house was sort of getting ready to actually live in. And she's like, in May it started. She's like, I don't know. I'm having like a little bit of anxiety about the fact that I'm not even going to be living in a house. I don't know if I'm going to have Wi-Fi. I don't know if I'm going to have a computer. I'm going to be living in my driveway while my house gets ready. And she closed out her summer. She was so worried about hitting Success Club 5. She's like, I just want to let you know that's what my goal is going to be. My goal is going to be Success Club 5 just for the summer. I'm going to literally just try to keep my head over water. And not only did she have this amazing ladies on the lawn, the transformation that happened with all of the women doing workouts outside, and I don't want to steal her thunder, but she ended the week or the month, the summer, with Success Club 20. Success Club 20, that is, how many people is that? 10 people. So that is just such an awesome accomplishment. And she's got a lot that I think that she can share with us. So I am definitely going to get to Juliet in one second, but I wanted to just kind of preface that. And we're super excited and honored to be able to hear what you have to say, Juliet. So cannot wait to turn it over to you. Yes. Okay, so announcements. You guys all probably saw a lot of this in the Poach page, but for those of you who did not, the Diamond Retreat is literally up for grabs for anybody. So this is a Faithfully Fit retreat. It's for anybody on Faithfully Fit team. There are a couple qualifications, and I'll go over what those are, but you have to hit Diamond and hold Diamond for the last 6 weeks of the year. So those dates are actually in the Poach page, but the last 6 weeks, I think ending, and I don't have the calendar with me, I think it's like the 29th of December maybe, that week would be your 6th week of holding Diamond consecutively. And you need to hit Success Club 5, October, November, and December. So the last 3 months of the year. And the reason why is because this retreat is really for business builders. We're going to be getting some awesome training. We're going to do a workout. Most importantly, though, we're going to spend time together, which I think is so important in terms of momentum and team building and just camaraderie going into the new year. But what I'm most excited about is we are going to spend a day. I'm not going to say where, but we're spending a day getting ready, getting glammed up, and I just booked the photographer. So everyone is getting a photo shoot so that you can have professional pictures that then, if you're going to get the pictures done, I'm giving you a date that you have to have a banner up for your social media, and you will be able to start branding yourself for the year 2017 with pictures where when someone goes to your social media page, they look at that and they're like, she's a coach. That's what you want. You want to be able to brand yourself that way. So I have a lot of other surprises planned, but your hotel will be taken care of. Your meals will be taken care of. The extracurricular activities will be taken care of. You just have to get to Stamford, Connecticut. And that is beautiful, beautiful Stamford in the summer. We just happen to be hanging out in January, so it might not look exactly like that. And the locals know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. Moving on. Anyone have any questions about Diamond Retreat? And I can't see the, just interrupt me because I can't see the chat line. Oopsie. All right. So I'm going to go back for a second. So, wow, what's happening? Go backward. Okay. So I wanted to put this in here because in the Poach page every single month, at the beginning of the month, Heidi will plug in her goals, which I think is awesome. And it doesn't matter if you are a hobby coach or if you are really trying to build a business. no matter what, if you're trying to accomplish something in your coaching business, you need to be setting some goals that are visible for you. So I want to personally thank Heidi for doing this, because it inspires me to write down my goals. So I wrote my goals down right here. And they're pinned up also on my board, and I also plugged them in the coach page. But I love that Heidi does this, because she's always been a goal-oriented person since I've known her, but it just gives you something to shoot for, to say something out loud, to plug it away, and to work at it, and it keeps you focused and on track for the month. So if you're not doing something like this, I strongly suggest that you come up with something, and it doesn't have to be this intensive. You can just have 2 goals for the month. So let's start small and not feel overwhelmed. Obviously, the longer you do this, the more that you're going to have on your goal list. But I would encourage everyone to just get into your business, looking at September. What do you want to accomplish? Write it down, plug it away, share it with an accountability partner, share it with your personally sponsored coach, post it in the coach page, something, but hold yourself accountable in whatever way suits you. Heidi, do you want to jump in and talk to this at all?
I mean, you said it so
Okay.
well. It just helps. Selfishly, it just helps me. And I remember being in like a networking group when I was new in my corporate job, and that I remember being so scared to state, like, we all kind of said like, oh, what are our goals being in this group? And I was like, oh, I don't want to say anything. And somebody said, and it never left me. They're like, when you make your goals public, that's when they really mean like that. You mean business. Because in a sense, it's kind of embarrassing. Like, I know it sounds weird, but like when I put myself out there and like I hit one of them, I'm not going to do that because I put myself out there. It's kind of like when we do our before pictures, like Tracy posted her picture in her bikini. Like, that's hard to do. And so, you're going to bust your butt every day because people are watching and they want to see what happens. So that's why
I'm not posting in 35 days if I don't have some sort of definition of my abs. I mean, there's just no way.
Exactly. So I honestly wanted to do it for the coaches to show like, hey, I'm putting myself out here. This is like my before picture, and I better come through and I better work hard because I otherwise it's kind of embarrassing. But at the same time, when I first started coaching, like Tracy said, these were not this detailed. Like, I really was like 1 or 2 goals, each month. It's grown from there, but I myself have to make it very specific. I mean, my actual goals even go deeper than this. Like, I break down like where they're going to come from and what my PD actually is per day, my personal development. Otherwise, like I just wing it, and winging it just doesn't work for me anymore. So I have to get really specific to actually feel good about my month. And how do you know if you're successful? You don't measure it, so I just have to push harder to make it real specific.
True. Awesome. Thank you, Heidi. I love that you do that. So thank you for raising the bar for the team.
You're welcome.
Okay. Platinum Edge. Where's Dina? I was just saying, I see Kira's on, Suzanne's on, Pam's on. Hi, everybody. So Dina, I said to her earlier, I don't think you guys were on yet. I'm like, I've never seen Dina get more like, are you coming? Are you coming? Are you coming? And Dina's got to feel some team love. So Platinum Edge is going to be awesome. We're all, I think, waiting to see if Shalene is coming like she did last year. But if you are on the fence or if you're thinking about it, I think Pam Blackwell did such a great post in the Poach page this week. Was that where you put it, Pam? Was the Poach page? All right, maybe she's not on. She did.
Yeah, that's where I put it. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. She just did a great post about encouraging everyone about Platinum Edge, but she really made it personal to herself on, kind of her own journey on coaching. And then the first investment that she made was with Summit. And she kind of took that energy from Summit and talked about Platinum Edge. But what I'm most excited about is not only spending time with all of us who are going, but there is going to be some great training about social media, Facebook, specifically. And as much as the younger people will tell us that we're old for still using Facebook, there's 1.6 billion people on Facebook. So when we start to, or when I start to feel like, ooh, my market, is it dry? Absolutely not. It's not dry because I have access to Facebook and there's 1.6 billion people, and we just have to keep educating ourselves on how we can use it to help us. So this, for those of you going, you're going to make an awesome investment, and it's super fun. It's a great venue. And apparently the Cowboys are going to be at the same hotel because they've got a game later. So if you've got husbands that want some sort of an autograph, get ready. So bring your, I'm sure there'll be like an attire for the party that we skipped last year. Didn't we, Heidi? We were dressed up like super,
Yeah. Yes.
We skipped it and we ended up having our own cocktail party, but it's a great hotel too for that kind of stuff. So if you're on the fence,
we had just as much fun.
We did, exactly. If you're on the fence, talk to a personally sponsored coach, box me, just talk about it and consider it because it's such a good investment for your business. Okay. Anyone want to plug in anything about Platinum Edge?
I was just gonna say you're gonna panic like making that commitment to go. I mean, you're gonna sit there and say, should I really be spending this money? I don't know. And you're gonna I bought my ticket and second guessed myself. I booked the hotel and I second guessed myself, and I literally sat on the phone with Juliet. We booked our tickets, going through pressing buttons at the same time.
And Pam booked the hotel because she's like, have you done anything? And I was like, no, I just reserved my ticket. I can't even think about it. She's like, I'm booking the hotel for us. And I was like, okay.
Juliet and Kira, I don't know that I'd be going if it wasn't for step by baby step with them. But yeah. So I don't think, it's not like you're going to sit there and say, okay, it's the time. It's kind of like having babies. You're never really ready. But it's just worth it. I mean, Summit was amazing, but everything that everyone says, you learn so much at Platinum Edge. So.
Thanks, Pam. Thank you for that. It's so true. It's little baby steps. I remember I almost threw up when I first bought my ticket to Summit when I was like, I'm going by myself, but there's 25,000 people there. I'll meet somebody. Okay, so moving on to the health bet. So I know there's lots of different health bet groups. There's a box chain for health bet, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. Just remember that your challengers have to log pictures of their Shakeology, and that started Monday, and you need at least 5 pictures. So that is one thing that you want to make sure that you're helping to educate them. 3 workouts, 5 shakes. And I think most groups are off to a good start, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to go back to Platinum Edge for a second. Oh, no, we're not. You know what? I'll talk separately on that later. Okay, so I just wanted to share this with you. Oops, I'm having a hard time with Zoom today. So I talked about this with Suzanne and Alicia because those are the coaches that I'm running Health Bet with. And I was telling them today, I was boxing them at the bus stop. And one thing that we all learned at Summit, we sat in one group on challenge groups, or one little seminar on challenge groups, and it was about these 2 coaches talking about the importance of getting a picture, a measurement picture, or measurements and pictures from your challengers, and how that literally, if we're virtual coaches, that is the baseline for us really needing to know, where are we starting? What are your goals? Can we focus on non-scale victories as well? It's not about the scale, it's about inches. So with this health bet, and I've done it with some people, I've asked them for pictures, but I've always been a little bit not really pressing them for pictures. Well, this one I press them for pictures, and I press them for pictures every Monday. And so we started our health bet a week early, thank goodness, because I felt like, at least for me personally, I had some glitches, and it enabled us to sort of get everybody up and onboarded. So today I sent out collages that were done on PhotoFee of the very first picture, and then the picture 8 to 10 days after we had started. And I used the same email. I copy and pasted it. Obviously, if there was something going on with somebody, I would personalize it a little bit. But I plugged 15 of those out. And then the other 15 people who did not do a second picture, I'm like, I need a picture in the next 24 to 48 hours. And it was much more nicer than how I'm saying it. But I was like, look, it's not, you promised that you were going to do this. You want to see changes. So I need 5 pictures over the course of the 5-week group. So I just wanted to show you guys that all day today, I have been getting responses back from people who saw their first side-by-side. Some of them were ever so slight, but some of them were very drastic, and none of them lost any more than 1.5 pounds. But some of the pictures were super drastic. And so I just wanted to, this happened early in the morning, and I had someone call crying today, someone who's like, oh my goodness, this is happening to my personal life. I can't tell you how encouraging this was. And the feedback that I have gotten on people were, it was just amazing how they have just really enjoyed getting and seeing those results. And this was just an email that was like, bit by bit, these pictures are a great reminder about how much I love challenge groups. And she just felt like it was such a nice surprise. And that's just something that you can think about. If the health bet is not it, maybe you do that in another shorter 21-day group. But keeping pictures and tracking them for your people is a great way for them to stay motivated and see the results that working out, Shakeology, and clean nutrition can do for them. So it's been a game changer. I don't think I'll ever go back to not requiring pictures. And that includes me too, which is like, you know, Heidi said, like I put a picture of me in a bikini up against a white wall. And it's like, I think about that picture and how I have to be accountable to that. So there is a second thought in whether or not I want to go for that extra glass of wine, or if I want to have dessert or not. Like, is it really worth it? Okay. So any other questions about the health bet? Everyone's good?
Tracy,
Okay.
I have a question in regards to, maybe this is for the box offline, but I haven't figured out for those people that shared their initial picture with us, where we see that at. If they, instead of emailing it, they sent it they added it to the app.
Yep. So if you're in the portal and you look at all of your participants and you click on your challenger's name, if it's your personally sponsored person, you're the only one who's going to be able to see it. But you can also double check on the left-hand side. It will say if they're giving you permission to see. So I've had to call a few people. I'm like, hey, I see you have a picture in here, but you're not giving me permission to see it. I need to see it. And so one guy is like, sorry, dude, I'm not letting you see my picture. And he's a guy, and I'm going to not press him for it, you know? But others are like, oh, sorry, I just wanted to make sure you're the only one. So you can go there. And then Suzanne was asking how I made the photos. Like, I can take that one picture and drag it to my desktop. And then in that person's profile, I can go to activity, and it shows me every picture that they've posted, whether it be their shake or a progression picture. So play around in the portal. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to actually let Heidi talk briefly about this because she's been doing the yoga retreat on the on-demand. But for those of you that hit Success Club last month, you have probably already gotten or 2 months ago, you've gotten your Shakeology canister. So I hope everyone knows and saw on the Poach page, there was a couple that were like faulty. So if your canister, the top does not stay on or there's not a seal, in the Poach page is the email address where you can email Beachbody and request a new one. Has anyone had to do that?
Yes, I did, but I think I chatted with them because I didn't see that right away.
Okay.
I haven't got my new one yet, but they said they sent it out. So
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I did mine through customer service. So.
Okay. So yeah, a couple faulties. I did not get a faulty one. I don't know how I lucked out.
So Tracy, let me ask you this. When you use yours, can you turn yours upside down and the top doesn't fall out?
Yes.
Okay. Because they sent a follow-up email when they said they were trading it out. And they said, if you turn yours upside down, the top could actually fall out, but it still creates a seal. So I was just kind of curious how others are.
If it had a bunch of Shakeology in it, it might fall out. It's not as seal tight as the first one that I have, but I can tell when I close it that it kind of does a, you know what I mean? I can tell it's a seal. Hopefully we have better luck getting our yoga mats. So we're getting yoga mats for Hitting Success Club 5, which is so cool. And if you've got a canister, whether it works or not, any time you get a gift from Beachbody, put a picture up of you in that prize and use your own zest and personality, because I promise you that you have people following you. And even if you could care less about a canister or care less about a personal development book, like a year ago, we got the Darren Hardy Compound Effect book. They do such an amazing job at giving us prizes for signing 3 people up, which is essentially what our job is to do. And I promise that there are followers out there who see that kind of treatment that we get gifts and we get attention and we get recognition through gifts. And there are 5 different love languages. And some people's love language is gifts. And so I promise that as you have followers watching your newsfeed on social media, if you're holding your canister and you're talking about like how cool it is that you helped 3 people and Beachbody sent you this, somebody is going to watch that and be like, wow, that's cool. And they're going to keep seeing your feed. And at some point they're going to come to you and say, tell me more about coaching. So don't miss those opportunities to use it to just talk about like how cool it is that we're treated as nicely as we are. But 2, the fact that we're getting a yoga mat, it's a great opportunity to talk about the 3-week yoga retreat. So Heidi, can you take like 30 seconds, 1 minute to talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a yoga person, and I've just done it through 21 Day Fix, once a week, that kind of thing. But it's been awesome. Like I've been having some back issues, and I've done yoga now, 5 days in a row, 6 days in a row, 5 days in a row. And I can't tell you how, like, I've actually figured out why my back's been hurting. It's been my hamstrings that are so tight, and I'm not stretching them out. So like, it's not just what's the word? It decompresses me so much that I almost want to do it twice a day, because I almost want to do it before I go to bed because it makes me feel that good. But I will say I've had so many people who I've never tapped into before, that because I think it's very different. Like some people really love yoga, and then some people are like really into like the high impact, Insanity Max 30. So I'm opening up this whole new group of people that I'm tapping into, where they're messaging me going, I have injuries or I have this going on. I would love to do yoga. So it's actually inspired me to do a challenge group on it. So I'm really like trying every day to post something about yoga on social media to see if I can get, a small group of people to do it with me. So I've loved it. If you haven't tried it, it's great. It really is. I really enjoyed it.
I do like it because I'm not a yoga person either, and it's been good.
Yeah, it teaches you like the basic moves, and that's what I needed. So, and you grow from it. The instructors are awesome. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'd also like to say they do teach you basic moves, but it's in a different, because I've done yoga for 15 years, and it's completely different format than I've done. And I've literally done it all over the world, like in Shanghai and California, and, all over US and in different countries as well. And it's a completely different format, but I'm really enjoying it. So you can reach out to those people that, that even if they're used to yoga, it might be something fresh and new for them.
Yeah,
that's good to know, especially for someone who's like, I've done yoga all my life. Am I going to like this? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's free. It's free for anyone who has on demand. So if you have someone that you sign on with the challenge pack, obviously if you bring them right on as a coach, they get the 30-day on demand automatically. If you bring them on as a customer with the challenge pack, they have to opt in. So once they have that 30-day, they have access to this whole yoga.
Now, is it going to be free for a while, or it's like a one-time kind of thing?
From what I understand, it's free forever.
It's just included in on demand.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay. Good to know.
Not to mention the Fixate cooking show is up and running, and not to mention Hammer and Chisel and T25 are let out of the vault, baby. I mean, on demand is like amazing to have.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Okay.
Hey, Tracy, I have a quick question about the T25 on demand. Because like one of my challengers got the whole pack, which is, you probably might have gotten this, like this huge amount of CDs and like the schedule that comes with it. Like he stays in alpha for like 4 weeks. 5 weeks, right? So like so I'm doing it on demand. I'm like, no, I'm already on beta because I've moved on. So how do we describe the difference to our challengers?
Well, if you go in your on demand, Suzanne, if you look on the right-hand side, there's like a little panel and there's PDFs. And if you click on the T25 schedule PDF, it will pop up in your on demand. So it tells you what you should be doing.
So I need to do alpha for a longer time.
Well, if you're committing to the 10-week program, you do alpha for 5 weeks, and Fridays are double days.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Katie just said that 21 Day Fix Extreme is coming on demand too.
Who said that?
Katie.
Really, Katie? Oh, she's got some inside scoop. Maybe because she lives in California.
She said, check your email, people.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Katie's on. She's working late, but we can't see her or hear her. So she's just chatting with Juliet. Okay. Well, that's super cool, that 21 Day Fix Extreme. So that goes like all of the meal plans for Hammer and Chisel, 21 Day Fix, 21 Day Fix Extreme. They will also be in the right-hand column in the PDF files. So your people can actually go click on it, print it, and they should have it, which is cool. When you have someone who's rushing for a challenge group, they can take the on-demand, they can print their stuff. You can talk to them on the phone. You can like throw them some Shakeology packets and they are off to the races. They don't have to wait for their box. Okay. All right, Juliet, I'm turning it over to you for some recognition.
Okay, so Amanda's on the phone, but you can't see her. My sister Megan, her son just got a concussion in soccer, so she's not on the phone, and Sarah's working late, so she is not on the phone. But we have 3 new coaches in Juliet LYF3, and I'm super, super excited. They're actually running the Health Bet Challenge with me and doing a fantastic job. And I have to say, Amanda sold her first challenge pack today, which is amazing. I don't know if you guys are following her on social media, but she has been super, super consistent. And it's kind of crazy because Amanda came to me through a free, what is it called, Tracy?
It's called Coach Connection. When you're a diamond coach, Beachbody will give you free coaches. People who sign up to be a coach and don't really know anyone in the network, they'll take that coach and they'll say, hey, Amanda, here's Juliet. She's your coach. So when you're a diamond coach, you get 2 free coaches a year.
Okay, so it was like came at the exact right time, right in the summer when Tracy was saying, when I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And Amanda came and I said to her, I'm so sorry, I'm usually not this frazzled. I usually have my stuff together more, but let's get you in training and let's do stuff. She's been so ready from the get-go and just has the mentality of a coach. She is just wanting to help people, but is so consistent on social media. She has put before and after pictures and is just consistent and is always smiling and happy and has an amazing personality. And I'm super, super thankful that she fell from the skies to me, because I'm so excited to watch her grow, because she is going to soar, really soar. So I just want
your own transformation, Amanda. For those of you who don't know her, she's the bottom left-hand picture. Her latest transformation picture and story that she tells. Sorry, there's a weird fly in my office. Is just incredible. So find her on social media. She really, like Juliet said, Amanda, you're doing such a great job with your consistency. It's so inspiring. I look forward to your posts every day.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right. So Heidi.
Yes, ma'am.
You're on.
Yes, so I just wanted to recognize my team as a whole because, we are definitely working hard and just learning, pretty much every day as we go. And, this is the first month that we have hit such a high amount of people either hitting Success Club 5 or above, or even just, selling your first challenge pack. So Laura was our top leader at Success Club 9. So congrats to Laura, and she's on the call. And then Crystal, this is her first month coaching. I just wanted to highlight her real quick because she hit 10. For some reason, the last one didn't hit in the system. It's really weird. I've never had it happen before, but it showed up as 8. That's okay. She started the month at 2, so that's okay. But her first month to do that well, and she had a lot of stuff going on, as we all do, personally. But she started school and so on. So just really proud as a whole. I feel like they all came together. They all pushed hard until the end, which was really exciting. Even Tiffany is on the bottom there. She sold her last one at like 11 o'clock, or her first one at 11 o'clock at night. So it was just fun to see. I think some of us got a little discouraged at times, and then we're like, you know what? We have 4 days left. We can do this. So just really fun to see the team come together and really lock arms and just make it happen. So so thank you. Thanks, Team Fit and Fearless. It was a blast. So I'm sure we'll follow it up and we'll keep going.
Awesome. And I can't just jump off the slide without recognizing that Heidi obviously is selling for her husband and her mom. So all together, between what Jason got and what her mom got and what Heidi got, Heidi hit Success Club 29, which is pretty cool for what's considered a slow month. So good job there, Heidi.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right. So I'm going to blow through these because I want to get to Juliet. But we recruited 63 coaches this month, and Heidi and Terry and Katie, awesome. Adding 4 coaches is averaging 1 coach a week. That's huge. And I think that, you know, even 3 coaches a week, Nicole and Juliet and Laura and Crystal, it's just awesome that you guys are keeping at it. Some of these I know are in the Getting Started Right. Some of them are just discount coaches that want to stay discount coaches, and some are actually wondering if the business is for them. So for a slow month, I think 63 coaches is an awesome amount of coaches to add for the month. And from a leadership ladder standpoint, Heidi's back up to team leader. So I'm super excited for you, Heidi. And then our team builders, Juliet and Pam and Kira and Jill, AKA Heidi, and Megan, who is not on tonight because she's got a slight injury, but she's okay. Awesome job. Team builder is a great step in the direction of moving up to a team leader. And so some of you new coaches who don't know what the leadership ladder is, we did a call on this. You can always go look at the archive and see what it is. But it basically means that not only are they focusing on their own vital behaviors and their own business, but they're helping their coaches to be successful. And that's really what you want. I mean, to hear Juliet talk about how fun it is to see Amanda, you know, score her first challenge pack and help her first challenger, and to see Heidi talk about how exciting it was to see her team rally together, that's really where like the beauty happens, because together you're helping other people get healthy, and that's really what makes it fun. Okay, here's all of our new coaches. This gets posted in the Poach page. Feel free to take this and post it in your own private pages, whether it's, you know, Fit and Fearless or Little Grace and Grit, whatever. It's just a great opportunity to recognize some of your coaches, even if they're just discount coaches, to say, hey, you're part of something. For some people, again, all the love languages are different. That recognition can go a long, long way. Okay, Success Club. I am going to talk about the fact that all of you guys are rock stars and all of you guys are awesome. I mean, Nick with his personal volume is just amazing. So good job, Nick, aka Dina. But all of these people, I mean, Heidi already went over her Team Success Club, but just, you know, I'm not going to list every single person on here, but there are brand new coaches on here, like Suzanne and Alicia and Caroline, that are like Success Club 10, 11, and they've been doing this for a month or two. And I was telling Suzanne, I did not hit Success Club 10 until I was like 6 months into the business. I remember being like, how are all these people hitting Success Club 10? I don't know where I'm going to find my 3 people, let alone 5. And it's a process, and it's different, and it's at a different pace and a different speed for everybody. But Juliet, for those of you that missed the very beginning, as she spent 3 months out of the year in a pseudo trailer, then moved into a house that still wasn't kind of quite done until the actual week that she was moving out, she ended up with Success Club 20 with no office, no kitchen table, spotty Wi-Fi, not really even having a laptop. And so this is why I wanted her to talk, because there were plenty of coaches that said, you know what, I don't know how the summer is going to go. I'm sort of worried. We're going to feel it out. And Juliet definitely had that mentality. But when it came down to it, she's like, no, you know what? I've worked hard at this. I've been doing this for almost a year. I'm not going to let my hard work go to waste and have to start all the way over when the summer is over. And so she really thought out of the box in order to keep her business going and to stay consistent. So I'm turning it over to her so she can talk a little bit about how she ended the summer at Success Club 20. So awesome job, and the floor is yours.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So I will make it quick. So I did not spend 3 months in a trailer. It sounded fun, and I would love to. It was 11 days, but still, it was in our driveway. We had an outdoor shower, and I could have stayed in Connecticut, but I really wanted to be at the beach. My husband and I bought this house. It was our first house, and we had a pipe burst 2 Marches ago. And so we've been rebuilding, and they weren't ready. And I was like, we're just going to go. So it took me 2 weeks to convince my husband about the RV. And it was super, super fun. But I literally was like, oh my, I have no place to work out. I'm not doing laundry. Like, this is going to be interesting. Okay. And I have a group of, I had 3 women actually from Long Island. We belong to something called the Yacht Squadron, where the kids sail and swim and do tennis. And 3 of them from the year before had jumped on board like in January. They like realized what I was doing. And I probably didn't talk about it so much in the summer. Actually, I didn't talk about me coaching because I wasn't coaching last summer. I started in September. So I really, they were like, oh, you look great. And I'm like, oh, thanks. I'm doing this new thing, but never really talked to anyone about it. So the 2 challengers said to me, like, can we get something going, like in the clubhouse or on the lawn? And I said, yes, please, because I have no place to work out. And I don't want to I'm going to be eating out every meal and it's going to get really hairy. I have no kitchen. The barbecue's not hooked yet because we changed it to gas, whatever, yada, yada, yada. So we decided to get some of the women and do workouts on the lawn in front of the snack bar. And it basically, the first one, I was like, we did, I think, so there's another woman also came in and was like, I'll do it with you too. I used to do fitness. She's actually a teacher. She was starting to teach kindergarten, but she's like, I'll do 2 days a week if you want to do 2 days a week. And I was like, perfect. So hers, she had taught classes before. I never taught any fitness classes. Anyone that knows me well, I cannot count and talk and follow something at the same time. So I was like, this is going to be interesting. How am I going to do this? So I was really nervous about it. So I was thinking I'm going to bring my computer and do it from there. But then it was in the bright sun and you couldn't see. So my Wi-Fi wouldn't work at the club. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to throw some stuff together. So I threw a couple moves together and the women really were like, this is great. Oh my God, this is such good workout, and so then we started talking to more people. I started talking to more people and I did T25, and anyone that knows me, I do not like T25. I did it for 2 days with Kira and I was like, oh my God, I don't even want to get out of bed. That was awful. That was literally the most awful thing. And reason being, I don't like to sweat every day because I don't like to shower every day, really, when it comes down to it. However, I was outside in very hot weather. I became super, super tan and leathery because I couldn't even put sunblock on. And I'm like, I'm doing things that I normally won't do. And I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. I'm just going way out there. So we did T25 one day. I had it on my phone. I did it, the ladies were like, what are we doing? And I'm like, and they were not in shape. So they were like, what's happening? And I was like, we're doing it. I'm pushing you guys. We are doing it. And we loved it. I mean, it was so much fun. I got so many people just oh, when's your next one? We had a whole chain going. Then I hurt my elbow in the move and I was like, how am I going to do my upper body and da-da-da? So I kind of changed it to a core cardio. So this is fast feet. And I basically did fast feet like a mad woman. And we would do it for long and I would make them jump. And I would basically say things like, run like a shark's chasing you or run like a kid with boogers on their hands chasing you. And it would be like, ew. And then they would laugh and wouldn't be able to do it. But I never could count. So I never had I didn't have my phone because I couldn't run with the phone because then it would change the thing. So anytime I felt like I was super tired, I was like, okay, I'm sure they are. But I pushed myself so much because I didn't want to do it right when I was tired. Because I'm like, no, I really want to push these women. So I did it where I was like, oh my God, I can't move my legs. So they would be like, I think you said that we were only going to do that for 20 seconds. I think that was way longer. And I'm like, sure it was. But I got most of the women you see here, not the one in the pink, that's my sister Megan with her little yellow shorts. She's a runner. But these other women, I think most of them lost at least 10 pounds in the summer. And seeing, Trace, you can go to the next slide. So this is obviously count and talk, but making connections and seeing these people. And then they actually were the ones who were like, let's take a picture. And they would post it. And I'm like, oh, I need to be doing this. I need to start posting this and really making, this is huge that I'm doing this. And this is huge that I'm actually impacting these guys. And, one person would come and be like, I saw you were doing something on the lawn. Do you mind if, you tell me what it's about? We've been, I guess, at this club for probably 3 years. So I didn't know everyone very well. There's a very big consistency of people that are local. And then there's a bunch of people that come from the city. I think there's a couple people that come from Connecticut, but no one that I know really well. So I was meeting all these women. that were like, this is so great. We've heard about this. And a friend, told me some people were even coming that weren't members of the club. And they're like, do you think we're going to get in trouble? And I'm like, we probably are, but let's not tell anyone. Like, just, if you want to join, they're like, can I give you money? I'm like, no, this is just, I'm doing a workout too. And this is my workout. So this is meaning as much to me as it's meaning to you. And it's such an enjoyment watching you guys do this. And one thing that was really funny, because at first I wasn't like correcting people with their form. But then I was like, I can really do this. And I got really good at like correcting people in their form. No, if I said, we're going to do 20, it usually probably was 50 or, because I would start correcting people and then I would start counting all over again. So I never really got that down completely. But then when people were just, they would say, so what do you do? Do you teach fitness classes in Connecticut? And I'd be like, no, I do this virtual, nutrition and fitness thing. And then we would just start talking. And so I think in July, I signed up 3 new people. So I hit Success Club 10 because I was also like, what am I going to do in July? And then in August, it just, people, I had one girl sign up for her son who's like 16 and for herself. And then for her mom, like, she's like, I want to do 3. And she's a blogger out there. And there was so many, and some other girl would be like, oh, I think so-and-so is doing this out here. And I would say, if you have a friend, that's great. If they're doing challenge groups, I don't want to, obviously take you from someone else if you have a relationship. And they would say, no, I really love these classes. And I really love the way you're running them and how you're connecting with us. And no, I want to sign up through you. And I'm like, okay, this is great. So seeing them every morning, we would get there at 9:30. Our kids would go and do their thing. And we would sit there, and sometimes I would come running in like crazy because it would be like, my dog kept jumping over our back fence and literally would do it like every morning when I was trying to get out. And the only way to get him back is if you like drove around the neighborhood and opened the door and he would jump in. So a lot of times I would become running, flying in the street right at the time. And there'd be like 3 people ready. There was one time that I was dropping Penelope at a gymnastics class and I got stuck behind the train. So I called one of the girls, her name's Carla, with the blue shirt and the long hair. She lives in the city. And I said to her, you know what? And I really think she's going to be a great coach. And so she's like, no, I don't know. I want to wait until I transform a little bit. But she sent me like 3 people. And she's like, nope, I want you to do it until I'm ready. But so I had her start the workout one day. I was like, you can do this. Start it until I get there. And she came and was like, that's so awesome that you thought I could do it. And I'm like, of course I thought you could do it. And she's like, no, but the fact that you gave me the encouragement to start it. She's like, this is so exciting. So, just seeing that. And Tracy, you can go to the next slide. So this girl, Heather, she posted this and things, and for anyone that can't read it, but not that you can't read, but that you can't see it. She said, I had to say, I cried on my way to work yesterday. She's a teacher and she has to, I think her commute's like an hour and she has to get up super early. So she's like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to get up at like 3:30 to work out and then teach 4th graders. And I was like, that's going to be really hard. But she says, I'm sad to leave the kids and lose our summertime, but I'm also so sad to lose that morning workout time with babes on the beach and ladies in Milan. And she just texted me this morning because I checked in because she's part of the health bet, but she was on vacation last week. And then this week was her first week of starting. And she was always my consistent one. She was there every morning, like the first one being like, okay, what are you going to do today? I feel like you can do harder. Her form was terrible and I would help her with her form. She couldn't do a plank for a half a second. I mean, she could not do any of it. So having her, send me this text today. And she just literally sent it to me when I was sitting with Tracy. She wrote, so I was in the classroom today and I did a whole lesson about a positive growth mindset. I used our exercise group as an example. I said in my mind, I thought, I don't think I can do that. But out loud, I said, I will try it. I used a few examples, but the only one I can demonstrate in the classroom was the plank. Most had no idea what it was. So I explained it and how it was a challenge for me to plank for long periods of time. And then I kicked off my shoes and I did a plank to show them. I shared my goals to get to the gym, plan time wisely, and try to have a good balance in my life. And that's the things that I was telling them. Like, she would be like, okay, I'm going out tonight. I mean, especially in the summer, you guys know. I mean, in the summer, it's about rosé and barbecues or, tequila and, whatever it is. it's hard to maintain a healthy lifestyle in the summer. And so for all these people starting with me in the summer and coming to me and being like, okay, so I didn't have any drinks because I really want to lose this weight and I really stuck to it. It was so amazing. And she would come to me and say, okay, so I'm going to do this. I found this cucumber vodka. I'm going to put it on the rocks. I'm going to have one. And I was like, that's great, but you also have to live. Like, you can't you still want to be fun. She's like, I know, and I'll get back to it, but I want to get to a point where I can feel like, okay, now I'm ready. She's quite a bit of weight to lose. So her husband came up to me at one of the events and said to me, I just have to thank you. And Heather's a great woman. She's really positive. She's like, everything's a teaching moment. But he said, I've never seen my wife in all the years be so excited and feel so good and so confident and like so excited to tackle this new thing. And this is a new lifestyle for her. Like, she eats really healthy and all that stuff, but she just needed to change her metabolism and do the working out. And it was like so great. And then I had like 3 other people at different times just come up to me, kids being like, my mom is so happy. Thank you for doing this. We would have the kids on the lawn trying to do the things, and they would be like, oh my gosh, you guys are so strong. I mean, it was so cute. My son one time ran the thing. He was like, okay, you guys have this much time. And seeing my kids, because I work out before my kids get up. So they don't get to see me all the time. And my kids being like, Mom, you were like the best. You're like so strong. It's such an awesome thing for them to see. And then to see me also helping these people and seeing these people come to me. And then my kids being there, being like, you're helping so many people. It was just an amazing, amazing experience. So I decided, coming back to Darien, I was going to do something here as well before it gets too cold. So I'm going to do a free group with a bunch of the challengers that already have done it. And then I have a couple people that are like, oh, we've been watching, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that. So I'm doing it. I think I'm doing it at the baseball diamond at Cherry Lawn. I need to look at that spot because it might be too sandy, but having people like be excited to do that outside is just exciting. Like, it really kind of lit the fire back inside of me to be like, you know what, this is so awesome. I was doing more than 30 minutes. I was starting to do 45 minutes. So it was exciting. So that is it. So that's how I did the 20 this month.
Love it. Does anyone have any questions for Juliet, or comments or thoughts?
I do. I think it's so awesome. I mean, just to think outside the box like that. It's so funny how many times I've thought about doing something in my neighborhood. I'm like, oh no, there's no way I'm going to be able to instruct these people. Like, I'm not going to remember. Unlike you, Julia, I would not remember what I was supposed to do. And I used to dance. Like, you think I'd know what I was doing. I have a question though, for anybody who's on the call. Has anybody ever thought about doing, especially Dina, I would think you've thought about this and being a PE instructor, but has anybody ever thought about doing something for teachers right after school? Like, they sit in their class and do their work for like an hour. And I always think about, like, why couldn't we do something like that, Juliet, where like right when school's, and I know there's childcare issues with some of us too, so I get that, but 22-minute hardcore, like 22 minutes, let's meet in the gym in the school with any teacher who wants to do it. It's free. Like, has anybody ever done that or thought about it? Or like, Dina, have you ever thought about it? I mean, that's another way of doing it where, because I know weather can sometimes be an issue, Juliet, like where you live.
Like in 3 months, people are going to be like, no, I'm not joining you on the baseball diamond.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I was thinking, I mean, again, I know schedules, it can't be possible for all of us. I totally understand that. My kids too. But if the kids, I don't know. I was just trying to think of like more things like that outside the box, and it starts to get cold. People are like, I'm not getting out of bed, and I'm not, is there a way, or even like the PTA, like maybe parents can come, or I don't know, just thinking more ways to get kind of involved in the community more and people knowing you. Because that's what happened, that FaceTime you got. I mean, social media is awesome. And don't get me wrong, I love that we can attack the whole country if we want to. But sometimes just having that FaceTime and building those relationships goes so far that I think even like the coaching opportunity for some of these people that you built relationships with on a deeper level is so much higher now versus the relationships we build on social media. That's just deeper. So I was just thinking like maybe that's another way we could do it.
Yeah, Heidi, kind of to piggyback off that, I've thought about doing it for teachers, but I was actually on the phone with my best friend today, and she's a personal trainer, and she's got a gym in the basement of her house, and I'm trying to really get her into the Shakeology thing. So she's been running classes out of a dance studio, and she was asked by parents if she could like do something during their children's practices. Because so many women, and they have young kids, so they sit there at swim practice for 2 hours, or they say, she's like, could you ever like train us during a practice? Because like it would kill two birds with one stone. We'd still be there supervised. So I heard her say that, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's genius. So
that's a good idea.
That's basically what we were doing. Like, but now,
yeah, absolutely.
Doing in the app, that was like in the morning, but like when no one else, you had nothing else to do. But that is, you do see that, like even at like first grade soccer, there was all these moms around.
Totally. Yeah. That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with you, Julia. It would be totally out of my comfort zone because I'd have to be like, what am I going to do with them? Like, how am I going to make sure they getting a workout?
The thing that was really great is I wrote down a bunch of like my favorite moves. So like my big move, like my big thing was I was doing core cardio because I hurt my elbow. So I couldn't do, I have like tennis elbow. I don't even play tennis. It's very annoying from moving. But I started doing really like and a lot of people have asked me like, what do you do for your stomach? What do you do for your stomach? And I really wasn't doing that much core before. I'd maybe do like 10-minute abs once a week, maybe twice, but not really. But so I was doing it every day or every two to three times a day with these, 2 to 3 times a week with these girls. And then I was like, but I got to add a cardio part of it. I don't like cardio, but I got to do. And since I was doing that, I started jogging. Like I'm jogging with my dogs now. Like, my sister's been trying to get me to run for years. And I'm like, oh no, I don't like that. It hurts. It hurts here, it hurts there. And I just like, 3 times a week, I'm now running 2.5 miles with the dogs on top of but because of that, doing that. So that's things that I didn't like, but I was like, that are easy to do in front of people and like, I didn't have music or anything, so it was, I kind of had to be like silly and use my personality, but so doing cardio, like, no one's talking and, you're really working. So like if you were doing more weight stuff, it'd be a little bit more downtime. So I was doing more stuff that would keep people busy, like doing, shuffles and, different things like that. So that's one thing that helped stepping out of my comfort zone, doing the exercises that I definitely didn't like. I could have, do arms all day, but that's a little bit boring, really.
Yeah.
I don't sweat every time I do it. So that's why I like that one. But now I got a bum elbow.
All right, well, I'm going to jump in because I took some notes just to wrap us up a little bit, because there might be some of you guys on the call that are like, there's no way I will ever run a workout, right? There's different personality types out there. Some will, some won't. But here are the takeaways that I wrote down. The vital behaviors. So Juliet had to do her workout anyway, right? It's one of our vital behaviors to work out every single day. So when you do the vital behaviors and you're focusing obviously on your own self, it sort of ripples. And I just love the way that you pushed yourself with fitness, because Shred Nation had this whole thing at Summit that we do fitness first. And sometimes when it feels like this business gets so out of whack, if you really come back and center yourself around just the vital behaviors and your fitness or whatever your transformation was, that is why the vital behaviors are so important. So I wrote down vital behaviors. I wrote down the personal relationships that you built. So I don't have to go out to my driveway to get my neighbors to buy challenge packs and go do T25 with them. But it's a matter of just talking to them and sharing things about my life, which is what you did. You went to a pool club where you didn't know anybody, and boom, you ended up, making a lot of friends and getting referrals and changing lives, which I love. You empowered others. I love that she had that one woman who wasn't that secure in herself start the workout. It's the same thing. If you have a baby coach and you're starting challenge groups and you empower a baby coach to do their first video or kick the challenge group off with the video, hi Arden, then that's empowerment, right? That's what we do with our challengers and with our baby coaches, or empowering Juliet to run this call. These calls are not easy to run. So any of you who have done these calls or are getting ready to do these calls, you gotta eat the frog and do it, because to come up with a topic and to come up with a PowerPoint, it feels daunting, but you're like, holla, I'm done. I'm done for 2016. So I wrote down empowerment and I wrote down just the accountability. And when it comes down to it, it kind of ties into like the pictures in the health bet. Our challengers want accountability. And when we hold our challengers accountable and when our challengers have success, many times they will turn into coaches, which is what everybody wants, right? We all want someone who would consider this business as a hobby or as a sharing coach. For those of you that are on this call that are like, oh my goodness, I've got these awesome ideas, like if Dina's wheels are spinning, which I think is awesome about doing something for parents when their kids are doing their sports. The day before Summit, they do certifications for every program. So if you're interested in PIO, Insanity Max, any of them, not any of them, size, if whatever your forte is, you can go a day early to get certified. And there's a rumor out there that they might even have a certification power hour during Platinum Edge. And what a certificate of like a certification is, it doesn't really do anything except I can say I'm an Insanity Max certified trainer. And it just gives me a little credibility when I go out to Cherry Lawn and say, we're going to do Max 30. And I've got a lot of those, you know, in my back pocket because I've done it all day long, you know?
Right. Well, you know, so the accountability thing was huge because I cannot tell you how many times I would wake up after like a bender at night and be like, oh crap, I gotta run the group. And it's funny because there was a couple of times where I would say to the girls, I know this wasn't my hardest ones. And they're like, no, we can tell when you've gone out the night before. You still make it hard because you make us do it like faster, but yours is a little bit slower. And I'm like, oh yeah, but it still got me. I would never in the summer got up and gone after going out and being up at night. And I did it many times and then felt really good. Like, okay, I just sweated all, like, I think I'm still a little bit drunk, but now it's out, you know? Those were definitely a little shakier, but it was great. I mean, the accountability was huge.
Awesome. Anyone else have any questions for Juliet? Any comments? Okay. Juliet, thank you so much for doing this. And thank you for inspiring all of us. And I can't wait to come to Cherry Lawn. I think you're doing it Wednesdays, right?
Wednesday, 9:30. Yeah.
Starting next week?
Yes.
I'm there, baby. I'm there.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you for being on the call. Not next week, but the week after is our next call. And I am going to be talking about the new workout program that's going to be released in November because it's all about how we market it. So we don't want to wait till the night before and put a post up. I'm going to walk you guys through the calendar and we are going to come up with a marketing game plan because that is how you're going to see a peak in your volume, which I think is what everyone on this call would love to see. All right. Okay, guys. So have a great one. Thank you, Juliet. Good to see you.
Thanks, Juliet.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.